Today is about setting goals and resolutions for the new year that are actually achievable. Setting goals can be a fundamental aspect of personal and professional development, and they provide direction, motivation, and a sense of purpose in life. So whenever I set a goal or an intention, there are a few things that are important to me. And that's being clear and focused. And then it's sort of easy-ish to work out what my motivation is. So, how to work out a motivation. I have fallen off the motivation perch more than a few times in my life. So recently I listened to Laura Conover talking about how Dr. Terry Walls recommends finding motivation. And this is my take on it. It doesn't matter what your goal is. It could involve your job, it might be dietary, it could be exercise, it could be meditating every day, or it could be taking time out from being on social media, or just about getting outside and putting your feet on the ground and breathing in the air. Or maybe it's prioritizing sleep, or anything to do with your long-term health or life. So often we find any excuse to put off what we know will benefit us because it takes commitment, and we struggle to stick with our intentions, particularly when we want to start the new year off with a positive bang. So here's one way to think about what would motivate you to setting goals and resolutions for the new year that are actually achievable. What would be worth running into a burning building for without a second's hesitation? And bearing in mind that you might not make it back out, but you're so compelled to run into this burning building. Maybe it's for a family member, a good friend, your animals, or it could be a cause you feel strongly about. And you can use this as your reminder for motivation to stick to your goals, especially when you tend to go off piste, like when you keep sneaking up on your fridge for something to chomp on, or when you don't get up in time to meditate, or when you don't drink enough water, or you do a little detour around your walking shoes that you've placed right next to the front door. So what is so meaningful to you that even in the face of pain, discomfort, and possibly death, you would still want to do the work? Which begs the question, what do you want your life for? You have to know what you want your life for in order to work on and survive the discomfort of improving it. It's like wanting to know what you want your health for, to endure discomfort while improving your health. So what's the meaning of your life? Completely independent of its length? Is there something inside of you that you know, love, value, or cherish, or believe so strongly that that is the meaning of your life? What are you willing to go into that burning building for? And here's another strategy to work out what your motivation is. Imagine that you're part of a tribe and that there is another tribe that's going to try and take your land and maybe even your life. And you think that you have information that will help win the battle, that will help your loved ones. So what would make you turn around and walk back into battle knowing that you might not survive the battle, just in order to give this info to your society. What are you willing to contribute to your society, independent of your lifespan? If you have something in mind, that's great. It might be an ideal or a value you hold dear, or it might be about your children, your siblings, your parents. It might also be something historical, something cultural that you want to pass on. Or you might want to pass it on by writing a book, or by telling a story of a lived experience. Or it might be a physical item you want to pass on, so that it survives you. It could be research, science, history, art. It's anything that's in your heart so deeply that you're willing to walk back into battle knowing that you would likely die. But it would be worth it because your society will live on. It's really about having a connection to something bigger than ourselves. So what is the reason you'll stick to your goal when you get uncomfortable? What's so important to you that makes your lifespan no longer that important? What is so valuable in your heart, in your mind? What are you so aligned with? Whether you have 2 weeks left or 2 decades left, what is worth it to you to say, my life no longer matters? It means you'd be able to cope with any pain, any discomfort, because this thing is bigger than me. It might be sticking to fasting, which is really hard to do. It can't be just to live a few more days or months or years. It has to be something bigger than your lifespan. Then you won't have any problem sticking to any goal. These are incredible ways to work out your motivation, very deep and revealing. It's worth taking some quiet time to consider these questions. They can be inspiring and challenging to consider, even if you don't have any immediate goals to set. So when you've identified your goal, if you have one, and your motivation is clear, then it's time to make an action plan. Are your goals short or long term, large or small? And if they're overwhelming, break them down into smaller, more manageable milestones. And give each milestone a date, just to keep you on track. Outline the specific actions, tasks, and resources needed to achieve each goal. And then regularly assess your progress. And remember to stay flexible, to be open to adapting our goals as we face different challenges or opportunities that present themselves. And of course, remember your motivation often, as it is really inspirational. And as you reach milestones, celebrate your achievements. It's also part of keeping your motivation going. And every so often, review and reflect your goals to make sure they align with your evolving priorities and values. That's really important. And tweak or set new goals as needed. Remember that setting goals is a dynamic process. It's not just about achieving the end result, but it's also very much about the journey and personal growth that occurs along the way. Goals gives you your life purpose and direction, helping you move towards a more fulfilling and meaningful future. So if you found this information useful and have enjoyed this, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.